to my Lawn Bowls for Fun channel. Alec here on this glorious April day here in Farnborough. Today I want to do the first short series of videos about practice, because first of all I've been asked to by a few people, and secondly I think it would be something that new people would find very helpful. There's traffic going by every so often, so bear with me with that if it does interfere a little bit with the recording. Right, so what is practice? I suppose coming just for a roll up, coming up here on your own and putting some bowls up the green. I suppose you could call that practice. And this time of year, it's something that is definitely needed. So why do I say that? If you've not been bowling in the winter months, when you come back in the beginning of the year, you find the green a lot slower than it was when you stopped bowling in the summer. If you, like me, have been bowling indoors in the winter months, then it's considerably different. The indoor carpet is really, really fast compared to the early season outdoors. It does speed up, but it doesn't do it, straight away. And sometimes the competitions and the leagues start quite early on in the season. If you're not careful, you're not ready for it. And one of the biggest problems is reaching those long jacks, isn't it? I'm sure everyone watching this that does bowl outdoors know what I mean. Early on in the season, reaching those long jacks is the hardest thing for a few weeks. So what I want to talk about today is practicing those long jacks. So what we did here, when the season started, when the club first opened, we had people, especially those that were entered county competitions where they start playing those this week, they needed to get a lot of time on the green to adjust their weight from the indoor power you need to the outdoor power. And I'm going to talk about that now, because it is important that you are able to reach long jacks, because if you enter any competition or go into any game and you can't, the opposition is going to spot that and you're in trouble. They'll just put up long jacks and you won't be able to reach them. But don't despair. There is, a way of doing it, and hopefully what I'm going to show you now will help you. So my first visit to the club, I put a long jack up. But because I'm used to the sort of power that I use indoors, and here's a video of me, and we'll see how far it goes down the green. I'm trying to think about the pace I would normally do indoors. I'm not going to take a step forward. Now that's the normal pace I would do on an indoor carpet. And you can now see that I haven't even reached the 23-metre mark. And that would have been on a 4-length jack indoors. That's the sort of pace I'd be doing. Look how short I am. So clearly that's not going to work. It has to be a lot more power than that. Yeah, see what I mean? You barely get halfway up the green, so you must put considerable power in the bowl when you let go of it. You need a lot more effort to get it down the green. On my first visit here, I could get nowhere near the long jack, but I didn't try and push it. I didn't try and strain myself, because if you do that, you're going to do yourself some harm, do yourself an injury. So you have to be patient. Be satisfied in putting a jack, say, I don't know, 4 metres, 5 metres from the ditch, and just bowl to that on your first session and get used to the sort of power that you need to reach that bowl. By the end of the session, hopefully, you're sending your bowls a little bit further anyway. But the next time you come up, progress that jack a little bit further down the green. And after 3 or 4 sessions, you'll find that you will be reaching a jack. Well, hopefully anyway. It's certainly, the first 2 sessions I did, the green, we'd had a little bit of rain anyway. The green had just opened. It was really hard work. But practicing those shots, when I did come down the 3rd time, I started to bowl much better. And when I came down for the 4th session, the jack was at full length, and I could find I was reaching it, not with every bowl, but I was getting there, which I couldn't have done, the week before. So you just have to build up to it. Don't expect to be able to get there straight away. If you can, great. But really, you don't want to overdo it. You don't want to force the pace too quickly, otherwise you'll hurt yourself. So just be patient, and after 3 or 4 sessions, hopefully you'll be getting there. Now the other thing is that the gentle delivery indoors, or even to a short jack, I find one thing that helps me a lot is that on a long jack, I really send my arm back. So if I'm just going to bowl a short distance, my arm will come back so far, and I push the bowl along. Whoops, you can see my balance isn't very good. You can see why I use the stick, because my balance is a bit of an issue with me. I'll use that in a minute. I won't use it while I'm demonstrating. But with the full length jack, what I'm finding is if I bring my arm as far back as I can comfortably and gives me a bit more of a pendulum swing, I can get more power that way. That's just my opinion. I know other people say it's not dependent on how far your arm goes back. I personally think it is. I think it helps. The other thing is indoors, I use a fixed stance. I don't use the stick indoors because I use the fixed stance, which is I literally set myself up and I look at where I'm aiming and I send the ball down and I stand up, and I tend not to lose my balance. But if I do that outdoors, I just don't get the distance I'm looking for. I need that extra momentum, and you gain that extra momentum, I believe, by taking a step forward. This is where I need my stick, because if I tried this without the stick, I wouldn't fall over every time, but my balance is bad enough that it would happen occasionally, and that's a bit embarrassing. So I set myself up, and then I take a step forward, and I send that ball down, and the stick stops me from falling over. And that helps as well. So for me, a combination of bringing my arm back further and doing a long pendulum swing before I release the bowl, and taking a step forward means I can reach those long jacks. Whereas if I tried it with a fixed stance and didn't take a step forward, I would struggle. So that's what I do. Everybody's got their own method, and if you ask any top bowler what they do, they might do a variation of those. But try that. As the green speeds up, you will find you'll be getting nearer and nearer and nearer. And certainly by mid-May, the end of May, you should have no problem, because the green will be running fast enough. But initially, if you're in competitions, you may have to take that step forward and certainly bring your arm back further, and that will help. So that's the practice you need to do the first time you go to the green. If you've been bowling indoors, or if you haven't bowled so far this year, make sure you get down there and practice that. And that is, you can do that on your own, okay? You've heard the term purposeful practice. That is where, when you come down to the green, you're not just having a roll up with friends. That is sort of practice, I suppose, but there's no purpose, there's no particular thing you're aiming at or concentrating on. With purposeful practice, you do have a particular subject in mind. With me at the moment, I need to keep practicing that. I want to get a little bit more consistent with my long bowls. I do sometimes put a short one up though, just to make sure I'm okay on the short ones. 2/3 of the bowls I'm bowling are bowling at the full length to get me used to that, because once you've got used to the full length, the shorter length's much easier anyway. So I hope you found that useful. Do try it out. Let me know below whether it works for you, with the arm going back a bit further. But say, don't rush it, don't push it. Take your time, be safe, and enjoy your bowling. Now I'm just going to put 4 bowls down. You can see, I don't know whether you can see very well, but down at the end of the green there, 2 meters from number 2, because I'm on rink 2, I'm going to send 4 bowls down to see how I get on. Okay, so I haven't played on this rink this year yet. I'm not making excuses. I'm not worried about the line anyway. It's more just reaching that jack. I'm not worried about if I don't get the line quite right. That will come later. There goes the first one. Oh, it's a bit narrow, but the weight doesn't look too bad, does it? So let me just go out a little bit wider this time with the same sort of weight. Ooh, Maybe I've gone out too wide. Yeah, look at that. It doesn't want to come in, does it? Outdoor bowling greens. I would have thought that would have been right, but there's obviously a dip there. Well, that's what I'm going to say anyway. But it didn't come in at all. But the weight is still there. Now, that's what I'm concentrating on at the moment, just the weight. So I'll try two on the other hand now. And then when I've done the last one, we'll go and have a look. That one looks a bit better. I think if I was playing this rink, I'd be using that hand, don't you? Let's try another one, see if it was a fluke or not. Right, I'll leave my stick there. We'll go and have a look, shall we? Oh, did you see that? You didn't, I was moving the camera. I picked up the jack, which I didn't particularly want to do, really, because I wanted to demonstrate whether one of the bowls were near the jack or not. I'm going to put the jack back where it was, because, there we are, let's get this jack. It was on the 2 metre mark, which is there. Right, so let's have a look, shall we? Well, all four have reached the jack. Yes, okay, those two on the left are about a foot short, but at this stage of the game, I'm not too worried about that. The weight in the middle one was perfect, and the other one went through. That's the one that picked up the jack, so that's about, what, 4 feet through? So, to be honest, this time of year, anything within 4 feet of the jack at the moment is okay, is good. So that one was a bit wayward. The weight was fine, but it's a bit wayward, but I adjusted well with the next one. And yeah, so you can see it's not easy, but I did manage to get up on those full-length jacks. Now, once I've achieved that with more consistency, I'll then start thinking about the line I'm going to take, concentrate more on the line, because I find I can only do one thing at a time. So there we go, that's the 4 bowls I sent up, and they weren't too bad at all, were they? So there we go, didn't do too badly, did I really? Right, so try that, enjoy your bowls, and I'll see you again soon.